Welcome back, my friends. We are gathered here today at the Great Arena of Khaine, a free-for-all map by Bloody Hound that will serve as the killing grounds where Averland, Karak, Azul, the Menfall Herd, and Lizardmen in the Temple of the Eclipse will fight and die for their right to party. In the green corner, the banner of Karak looking extra thick this fine morning, but you know what's even more thick? Taurox and that brass bull booty. And why would you lust over a busty dark elf maid when you can watch an utterly ridiculous bray herd led by the brass bull himself plunge into the center of the arena? Some hot, spicy Beastmen action is all I'm looking forward to today, and Taurox should provide that in spades. But in the purple corner, at the main gates leading into the sacrificial plaza, is Tetto'eko, chief astronomer of the Temple of the Eclipse, and one of the most revered skinks in history. Typically on top of his own palanquin throne, but screw the lore, let's just give him a stegodon and Chakax, a big green carnosaur. Why not? Army books don't matter. Shifting over in the red corner of Karak, I lead the Mad Count Marius Leitdorf and the men of Averland in the battle with an Amethyst wizard who knows Purple Sun Azarius and Soul Blight waiting on deck. The Mad Count comes equipped with his stiletto dagger Ludwigia, which can fire off a breath attack quite similar to Wind Blast and Mother's Ruin, the Rune Fang of Averland. How does an Averlander tell the difference between his cattle and his wife? He can't. And in the black corner of Harganeth waits none other than Thorek Ironbrow, Master Runelord of Karak Azul, and he can actually summon lightning from his Anvil of Doom, which is pretty awesome in and of itself. He can get a bit more aggressive than his typical Runelord counterparts, and he has a pretty fun playstyle. Now, Bloody Hound, of course, quite well known for his modded maps in the Total War Warhammer trilogy, and it's for stuff like this, just super aesthetic, great attention to detail, fun to play on as well. But besides the map, we're using Mixu's Lord packs and less blood, less gore, which some people have asked about, should let us enjoy the models so they aren't quite drenched head to toe in tomato sauce after getting a paper cut. Speaking of tomato sauce, Hammer of the Witches, cracking open some cold ones with the boys, ripping through the flanks of those skinks, getting a lot of kills early, and taking those meat shields off the field, always a nice way to start the game. Now, Hammer of the Witches, of course, that bonus versus large, best versus large units where you aren't wasting those cannonball shots. You want to use it against single entities, generally speaking, because you won't waste all that bonus versus large, because a cannonball is going to kill a model of cavalry anyway. But early on, getting some of those meat shields off the field, never a bad thing. We'll take a look at the Beastmen army here. Taurox the Brass Bull, a Bray Shaman of the Lore of Death, a lot of Gore Herd, some Bestigors, and some Minotaurs as well. You can't be playing the Brass Bull without a solid chunk of Minotaurs in your army. It's just not worth it. So right here, we've got the Mad Count moving up. I haven't played Averland in this game ever before. I've never done a campaign for it, never played with this character before, but that Ludwigia dagger can be really good for taking off kind of the cheaper stuff, skinks, skirmishers, that kind of thing. It will delete archers if you land a good shot on with it. So we're going to try to do that with these skink skirmishers that are moving up now, while Tetto'eko, on top of his own ancient stegodon, unleashes some of that long-range artillery fire from the blowpipe. And here come the javelins. And don't want to let that shoot into our halberds for too long. We don't have a missile block chance, so we're going to rip through the flank there, do quite a bit of damage. I didn't even use it that effectively. You want to get the meaty part of that cone on the infantry, so you kind of want to start the cast a little bit further away from the infantry. Still did a lot of damage though. And here, Hammer of the Witches, doing what it does best, just killing cavalry from long range, taking a lot of those cold ones off the field. Like I said, cracking open those cold ones with the boys. Good way to start the match here. And Bestigors getting into the thick of the fighting. Beastmen already into melee with the Saurus. Here comes Chakax, the Eternity Warden, on his Carnosaur. Just moving through them like they're not even there. Doesn't care. It's 2 tons of pure muscle and raw killing power. Smacking that tail around. Ripping the Bestigors in half. Doing a lot of damage early on. Harmonic Convergence Overcast going down. Give some attack and defense buffs to those Saurus. Should help them deal with those Gore Herd in melee. And already, lots of infantry clashing here. Brass Bull is not into the thick of it yet, and I have no idea what happened over here, but the Bray Shaman of the Lore of Death is not in the right spot. Got his head blown off by a row of thunders from the dwarfs, and that's off the field. So that's a good way to feed some points over to the dwarfs of Karak Azul over on that flank. Lots of skirmishers firing in. A lot of skirmishers on the field for the Lizardmen, actually. Quite a few skinks, quite a few chameleon skinks. And Chakak still doing what he does best, munching on a bunch of Beastmen. Cold One's getting a nice rear charge in the back of the Bestigors, and that's a Purple Sun Azarius from the Amethyst Wizard. That was a decent one. Not fantastic. Probably could have been better. But gonna route those Bestigors and do a little bit of damage to the Source as well. Unfortunate Bestigor getting tossed across the camera there. And Taurox, the Brass Bull, now into the thick of the fighting. And he's gonna start goring these unfortunate Saurus. And with those rune-tortured Axes of Corn, as another one of Ludwigia's spells goes down there, he's gonna fight Tetto'eko in the thick of the fighting. He needs some help though. Don't want to be letting him fight a big, scary Ancient Stegodon by himself. He'll win that fight 1v1 for sure, but maybe not supported by a bunch of Saurus. And over here, Averland moving up to start getting some pot shots in as the organ gun rips a hole through those handgunners. Now, the Children of the Old Ones can be kind of a tough nut to crack for the Beastmen. Beastmen are a great faction, don't get me wrong. They are just infinitely better than they were in Game 1. But they still sometimes suffer from a few of the same issues they had in Game 1, namely terror routes. Terror bombing in general can be a big problem for them. Their infantry, Goreherd, and Bestigors even will route to terror bombs from a Carnosaur, the Ancient Stegodon, and with all that skirmish support, they're definitely having some troubles over there. Organ Gun still reaping a terrible toll as handgunners move up, start getting some really good shots into the Slayers who are moving up now. And there are a lot of Slayers on the field, 4 full units of them, and you gotta be careful because they move deceptively fast. They can close that gap super quickly, and those handgunners, as Master Rune of Wrath Rune goes down, they're gonna need to back up or they're gonna get run over by those angry Mohawk men. Or dwarfs rather, I guess that's going in the Book of Grudges, isn't it? Flagellant's moving up now, and Marius Leitdorf on top of his horse, is it Daisy? Yeah, I think it is. Daisy Kurt von Hellboring II, who he trusts his warhorse more than his own advisors, as Thorek Ironbrow's Master Rune of Thunder goes down, smashes into the center of the Empire line, and Averland has committed all their great swords now, or most of their great swords and all their halberdiers. That will be some tough fighting. Plenty of AP on the field. Soul Blight goes down, as does the Rune of Negation to cancel out some of that damage, and the handgunners getting some good shots into the hammers in the back lines. This is a very, very flat map, but they aren't able to fire over the stunties, who of course, not exactly the tallest race on the planet, can kind of fire over their heads and hit the important targets in the back. Hammers have not been committed, but with a lot of focus fire, those handgunners could reap a terrible toll on those elite units. And we've got a Purple Sun Azarius right on top of the hammers, and that's a good use of the Lore of Death right there. Look at that. Down to half, instantly showering the sacrificial altar here with the blood of the hammers, and half their number down right off the bat. Very nice, but the organ gun will do the same thing. Get some really good shots into the great swords, who will want to close into melee before they take any more damage there. And just a lot of deadly fire crisscrossing, arcing between these two factions, and that was a big shot from the Hammer of the Witches, carving a path. It'll be very interesting to see who wins this ranged battle. There is more range on the field, is concentrated on this part of the map. There are 3 handgun or thunder units for the dwarfs, but they're over on the other side of the battlefield right now. So they don't have the support of the range except for the organ gun. And yeah, these handgunners are just blowing the heads off, decapitating a bunch of those elite infantry. And just now he's noticed it. But more of that Rune of Thunder coming down. Thor, Odin's son, unleashing Mjolnir. And the state troops are definitely feeling a little bit shocked, while the Lizardmen look to be in the ascendancy on the other side of the arena. But Tetto'eko looking a little worse for the wear. Cold-blooded has popped. He's getting that healing. But Taurox, the Brass Bull's hunting for him. Chakax, the Eternity Warden, on top of his unique green Carnosaur, getting that rear charge off, and will cause a terror rout just in time. He was only a couple of hits from going down there. And Lizardmen will win against the Beastmen, but Beastmen might be able to salvage a few of their units, and maybe come back to the fight a little bit later on. Another Purple Sun Azarius comes down, and yeah, that's gorgeous. That is just a beautiful cast. That might as well have been a wind spell right there. Got lucky on which direction it went. Obviously don't have any control over that, but it went down the line, ripped a hole through that dwarf line, and that was a gorgeous, gorgeous cast. Did a lot of damage there, but shifting over, we've got some Averland Demigryph Knights moving forward with halberds. Thunder is getting some good shots in. And that one volley, you can see that AP damage just does so much work against demis or really anything with a lot of armor. You get a clean volley off. They will get their charge off and they will smash through that front rank. No problem. But that's a statue out of spite from Tetto'eko, I believe. And that's going to hurt. It's kind of like... I'm trying to think what... It's a mini Fate of Buna. Not quite as powerful as Fate of Buna, but can certainly do a lot of damage to a lot of entities there. And we got Slayers and Hammerers engaging the Mad Count. Now, you gotta be careful with the Mad Count because he will go insane. Once he drops below a certain HP threshold, you will lose control of him just like Rampage, which is true to his tabletop rules, I believe. But Handgunner is getting some really good close range volleys off, decapitating those Slayers. And yeah, you can see he's got 700 weapon strength right now, which is absolutely insane for an Empire Lord. But you have no control over him. He'll just go and kill whatever's closest. So, kind of the trade-off there. But we did have a bunch of buffs and items popped at the same time. Got the Royal Altar of Griffites getting a good charge into the Longbeards. A clean charge there. But kiting this dwarf army is proving pretty difficult because there are so many Slayers on the field. Kind of playing a running battle right now as the Handgunners continue to layer their defense, kind of retreat, turn around, fire, retreat, and you kind of just keep committing stuff into the fight. But I'm having to commit stuff that I really don't want to. Having to commit the Mad Count himself, my Legendary Lord, just to tie down those Slayers and those Hammers to prevent them from getting further into my backfield and kill all the range units. And I really need to win the game. So, I don't know that the trade-off is worth it, but I have to send stuff into melee, or my Handgunners will just die, and then I have no chance of winning whatsoever. So, continuously trying to retreat with what I can. Mad Count is somehow still alive. Handgunners firing in from the flank, trying to support him, but he will rout. And yeah, I mean, you can't, oh wow, 6 shot from the Hammer of the Witches. Some really nasty shots coming in from the flank, but you can't keep him in isolated like that and expect him to survive for long. And that low now, I'm not sure he'll return. And that was a really unfortunate overshot. Feels super bad for those great swords that just got bisected by their own artillery shot right over the top of their heads and hitting their own unit. Not good, but Handgunners still trying to provide that support. And we've got some more demis, the ones that were dealing with the Thunders a little bit earlier on, coming in for that rear charge, supported by the Halberdiers. Don't want to leave these demis in melee for too long, though. Again, you want to use that impact damage. Want to use that charge bonus. Wait till it wears off. As soon as it does, pull out, cycle charge again. And Longbeards do have charge defense against large if they're braced. So definitely got to be careful with that, because you can lose most of your damage output if they're able to set up in time. Finishing off some Slayers there. Demi shouldn't have too much trouble with that. And Lizardmen coming in. They've gone all the way around the Sacrificial Altar of Khaine in the middle of this great arena and are heading my way, and I don't have much to deal with them, so honestly it's going to be kind of a Dwarf and Lizardman showdown here if I can't keep some of my units alive. Finished off those Slayers, and I'm just going to have to consolidate and keep everything together and rethink how I want to go into this fight. Now Chakax is getting pretty far ahead of the rest of his army, and I see that's a juicy target right there. That'll be a big leadership penalty if I can kill him and Tetto'eko for the Lizardmen. And he's a perfect target for my demis. A large target is a really big hitbox. If we surround him, we should be able to cut him to pieces. I want to get my demis in there. But it is a Carnosaur. Tons of mobility. Obviously causes terror. And almost right off the bat, he will cause my own demis to waver. And then terror rout. That's not good. Obviously not good there at all. Cold-blooded popped. Gonna get some more healing in there in the meantime. Really good use of it, and my cannon just keeps missing. Hammer of the Witches keeps missing. I need to land some of those shots because that's where the bonus for storage will really kick in, be really nice. Royal Altar of Griffites and my other Demigryph Knights charging in now, and we are going to get a surround off. But that is Curse of the Midnight Wind, a fantastic use of that there. Perfect cast, and that's going to make my demis not be able to hit them at all. I have a great engagement off here, for sure. I completely surrounded a Carnosaur with demis with halberds. That's exactly what they're designed to do. Kill large single entities, and it's not going to matter. Because Curse of the Midnight Wind goes down, lowers their attack, and I just can't do anything. Handgunners still trying to escape. Silver Bullets are mostly full HP, getting chased by some Longbeards. Sooner or later, I'm going to have to turn around and get an actual volley off. Yeah, and I think we're going to get ready to do that here. Longbeards closing that gap, but they're slow. These dwarfs are not particularly fast. Very dangerous over short distances, but it don't matter. We're gonna get a nice volley here into their faces. And they don't have faces anymore. That should be enough to pretty much shatter them right off the bat. Maybe a little bit of melee. And then wavering, and they will rout. Let's take a look at what's happening over here. The Empire is in ruins. In absolute shambles on this side. Nothing left but the dwarfs and lizardmen are fighting for control now. Averland in third place. Karak Azul in second place. Lizardmen in front for right now. But there's still plenty of time left. And the Longbeards have routed against those handgunners. Running away, running for their lives. And there's nowhere to run. Beautiful volley into their backs. Fountaining crimson into the air. Staining the great arena red with their blood. Perfect shots there. And I'm going to look to get those silver bullets back into the flank here and start firing into some of those high-value targets of whatever's left by the time they get back over here. Thorek Ironbrow in the middle of a bunch of Saurus, using that Master Rune of Negation, using that Oath and Steel to keep his dwarfs in the fight. But Chakax is still around. Tetto'eko with 1,000 HP is still around. Cold-blooded healing is obnoxious to fight against, man. I'm not gonna lie. You think you have a lord dead? You think you have him dead to rights? You think you pretty much have their army routed? He routs, gets away, heals up with cold-blooded from 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 of the heroes that lizardmen typically bring, and suddenly he's back in the fight. It can be very frustrating, but some very good throwing axes from the Beastmen who are still around. They still have Centaurs with throwing axes on the field, still making an impact here. And that might be enough to make Tetto'eko rout. But the Runelord of Karak Azul, still that brick wall in defense. He's in a really terrible spot right now, and he's holding on strong. Just completely overwhelmed, but still holding on for the Dawi. Still clinging to some hope beyond hope that the Dawi will be able to pull this out and take it from the children of the old ones. And it's time that we all start working against the Lizardmen, because they have been annoying this game. And we're going to work together to finish them off here if we can. Centaur is getting one more volley, and Tetto'eko gets away with 1 HP. Now remember, in free-for-all, that you don't get points for the killing blow. It's just about HP damage. So leaving it doesn't matter. You're not going to get more points, really, if you kill that 1 HP left. But it's just crazy to see him get away with that. With literally 1 health left. 1 hit from death. And Centaurs will throw a full volley because they're like, screw this guy, I just want him dead. Waste of a volley there. Could have been very useful against Chakax, the Eternity Warden, who's on top of that Carnosaur, but too little too late. Gonna use it on Tetto'eko, make sure he dies. He will not return, and Chakax with 1,000 health left, running after Thorek Ironbrow. Yeah, so the dwarfs are done. They're in second place. They will not be able to take the field here. They will not be able to take first. That's okay. What we're going to need to do here now is finish off Chakax, who's been super annoying. Carnosaur just so much mobility, so much terror potential, and I think most of us can agree they're super fun to use. They're awesome. I don't want to see them get nerfed or anything, but they are very annoying to fight against when you're not playing the Lizardmen. They just do so many things so incredibly well. I need to shoot it. I need to put some holes in that hide, and so Gojira and myself, the Beastmen, and Averland will work together here to try to... Actually, it looks like the range of those handgunners hit their cap right there. Kind of hit a wall. We're going to work together to try to finish off these Lizardmen. Can we, though? That is the question. Can we finish off the Eternity Warden and all these annoying Skinks and Saurus still on the field? Nice charge from the Centaurs with throwing axes. Got a cycle charge, pull out, and go back in again. Some really nice shots. And Chakax now has 84 health. And truly, the Lizardmen of the Temple of the Eclipse have been blessed by the old ones in this battle. It's crazy how many of their characters have gotten away with just tiny slivers of HP. He's not even going to rout. He has 84 health, and he doesn't even rout from the field. How does that even happen? Another big volley coming in here. Saurus getting scythed down in the front ranks. Really nice shots from the Silver Bullets, who have made a huge impact on this game, and now those Saurus will rout. There are a lot of Lizardmen left on the field, and the only way that any team besides Lizardmen can possibly win this is if we work together, and even then, it's kind of it's gonna be real tough. Centaur's getting another good charge in, but they have like 2,000 health left. They can't fight that many Saurus. Chakax still at 80 something. More skinks, more Saurus pushing forward inexorably. And Chakax, he's hanging out. He will lead the charge. This final charge to end the battle. One more handgun volley coming in right now. And he goes down. Carnosaur goes down. The Eternity Warden goes down. And it won't matter. At the end of the day, Lizardmen have more than enough to take it. Unit of Saurus, some skinks. They'll get in, and those Maqueedles will go to work bisecting these poor silver bullets. And the Empire handgunners, the Regiment of Renown, will fall, and that will be your battle. A valiant defeat, but a defeat nonetheless. Very well played to Slizzle for taking that one with the Lizardmen. Very well played. He had some really good casts. Fantastic use of Curse of the Midnight Wind. Used Harmonic Convergence. Had some good Wind Blasts. Basically used a lot of Tetto'eko spells very nicely. And got into melee with the Ancient Stegodon quite well as well. The Carnosaur did a lot of work. And round of applause to RTK 50 Bomb, who I used to play a lot of Shogun 2 with. He was a very good multiplayer player back then. Has not played multiplayer for a super long time. Jumped into this one, first multiplayer game ever. Got second place. Did really well that game, honestly, with the Dwarfs. He hurt me bad. He hurt Averland real bad. His Slayers and the Longbeards. Look at those handgunners. I mean, all almost 100 kills. Oregon 227, hammers, all that. Looking at Gojira stuff. Brass Bull. He had a bit of a rough go of it. Beastmen had a rough go, but that can kind of be the matchup against the Lizardmen. You can either roll over them, or you kind of get rolled over yourself. In this case, you just kind of got terror routed, but ended up using those Centaurs well in the late game. And then, yeah, Tetto'eko and Chakax did a lot of work. Hope you guys enjoyed. See you next time. Any prize? Signing out for now.